Hey everyone, I'm Jill. I am going to sit down today with Jake to ask him some questions about the Proposition 2.5 override that we've been hearing out in the community, and also that I have been, coming up with over the last few weeks. I have inundated him with questions, and I'm also hoping to pose some of these questions that, you and I have to school committee members and the select board members, if that opportunity arises. So, we'll try to get those questions answered. All right. Hey, Jake.
Hello.
Thanks for sitting down with me. So we're going to sit down. We're going to talk about the Proposition 2.5 override. We've been out in the community canvassing. Lots of questions arising. As somebody who is kind of outside of the town politics and government, not my expertise or profession, I just have had so many questions, which because I've asked a bunch to you. So now I thought I could just be the question girl, and I will see if we can get some of these questions answered for everyone. So let's go here. So first off, why don't you just tell us kind of a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Thanks for having me in your beautiful home. I have been working in education for 17 years. I've worked as an administrator lately for the last 6, and I was a teacher for 11 years before that. So that's how I've kind of looked at all of these issues, is through the school lens. But in doing research, I've kind of realized this is a bigger issue than just schools. It's actually a whole town.
Right. Gotcha. Well, awesome. So you bring a lot of knowledge to this, and obviously I know you have a family in town too, so a lot of interest there. So I'm just wondering too if we can just off the top share the dates and the figures. So just kind of get the residents the exact dates and figures, because those things have changed a lot. So what are we looking at for the voting process?
Dates that you need to know are May 19th, May 31st.
Yeah.
Those are the 2 key votes. Both of them need to pass in order for Prop 2.5 to pass.
Do the residents need to know anything about, when to show up, or, what's the process? So in terms of the ballot and then the town meeting, do you want to just quickly?
So when you go to the ballot, it's kind of your typical vote. You go in, you do your little bubbles. You can show up. I think it's from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Okay.
And then the town meeting is kind of a different animal. You get a little clicker, and it's a whole process. Our town moderator is doing a whole, I hope, we asked for sure, a whole video series on what it's like and how does it work and what are the rules around all of the motions that can get made. And so I think he's the one that should kind of weigh in and get his expertise is the one we're going to want to rely on. But we definitely need it to pass in both of those places in order for our town budget to be big enough to keep all of the stuff that we've been relying on for the last year.
Okay, great. Thank you. And this might be just kind of going a little, deep, but in terms of the town meeting, for people who can't be there, whether it's because they've got something pre-planned or, in terms of just physically can't get there, is there any option for them to weigh in on the vote?
No. Basically, no. If it's the ballot, you can vote early.
Right.
But you can't do that when it comes to town meeting. It's one of those truly, purely democratic processes that still exists. Everyone gets a vote, and everyone has equal say. It doesn't matter what your title is within town politics. Kind of total level playing ground.
Okay, cool. So we need to show up to that. Lots of people need to be there
You need to show up to that.
Okay.
For sure.
Awesome. And then, so now why don't you talk a little bit about the final number, the budget request that they have decided on as a town?
The exact number?
Well, roughly.
$2.9 million is the exact. It's very close. It's I'm rounding up a touch, but that was the number that they finally landed on, approved it. That's what the Prop 2.5 vote is going to be on.
Okay, awesome. And just kind of going off what my next question would be, and I don't know if you're quite prepared for this, but so just kind of talking numbers. So what does that mean for me, for, my neighbor, in terms of how much more we're going to pay? What does that look like? How do we figure that out?
I think the easiest way is to hit our website, investinbelchertown.com, click solutions, and then you're going to want to click on the calculator.
Yeah.
You have to know what your home assessment's at. Once you know that, you just type in the top line and it'll tell you how much more it's going to cost you in that next year.
Okay, awesome. That sounds easy enough. Do we want to do a few examples? Would
Yeah,
that be-
I mean, I think as I've knocked on a few doors, I think I've just shown people like the website. You hit the main website, and then you're gonna want to go down to solutions, and then you click on what will it cost. If you click on your assessed value, the very top one, enter your assessed value. So $250,000 is going to be 83 cents a day. It's going to be $25.21 a month. It's going to increase that person's taxes. I should say that household's taxes, not one person, the whole household. It's going to increase $302 for the year.
Okay. What is the average, property assessment in Belchertown? What is the
I
average?
think it's roughly 414,000, and so theirs is going to go up $1.37 a day, about $42 a month.
Okay, because we've heard that number floating around town as kind of the average. But yeah, we do want residents to know that there's a way to, calculate it for their household, nearly exactly.